Morning. Oil and gas names are fucking powerhouses, dude. Crude looks like it's going higher. DVN looks awesome. Yeah, you and me both. Good morning. DJ, good morning. Oh yeah, adaptive health. Adapt health. CANO was a nice one too. I was just never able to get to it on Friday, dude. It just fucking took off, quickly. Yeah, dude, there's nothing wrong with it. Market was terrible on Friday. Yeah, when the market's under the 50-day moving average, dude, having a shorter hold time on your positions is, I'm kind of noticing, even better. But it's these oil and gas names that have got me interested. LNG, except it's tough to buy this one. What looks good too is look at these tankers, STNG and TNK. They just need a little bit more time, but my God. TNK is the other, yeah. I don't know exactly how I'm going to try to get into these, but I'm going to try to get into one of these. Not today, but maybe. God, what the heck? I just gave you guys greenies. Just gave you guys some bones. What more the hell do you want? Yeah, every single one of these names are strong. Girl, please. What the heck is your deal? Yeah, so many oil and gas names came across my scan this weekend, dude. PDCE, APA, OVV. I mean, it's just Fang. They all look the same. Now they all just need time. It's actually the nice part about this oil and gas sector. They pretty much all line up together. They did the exact same thing last year with the perfect setup, or should I say the very first day of this year with a perfect setup. Right here on, what was it? 113? Where the hell was that? Man, this name was the absolute strongest. Fang. That shouldn't be 1-3. Should be 1-3-20. Here we go. right in here. What's up, girl? Good God. Steve, good morning. Yuli, good morning. Alec. Alex, what's up, brother? Good morning. Unbelievable. What do you want, girl? My goodness, my girl's sometimes going off. What's up, girl? What is it? You were outside for 45 minutes this morning. You got food. You got water. You got a bone. You ate a greenie. What more do you want? What is it that you need, baby girl? Sit. Yeah, it's these oil and gas names that literally littered my scans this weekend from DEN to DVN. I mean, it's not even funny how much stronger they are than everything else. They almost all look identical, too. But that doesn't mean that they're set up to do anything. Yeah, but I saw Sober gapping up on news, but it's just a stock that's being pumped. There's nothing I can really do there. That's not a doesn't feel like a safe multi-month hold if you get a nice entry, or multi-week. It's just a cheap. I don't even know what they do. They make like some device that goes in a car, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to buy that. If I were day trading, that's what I'd be going to. Probably because it'll trade some good volume. It's already traded 1.6 million shares. What's the other one? Another one, if I were day trading, would be IMUX. But I mean, I'm staying away from all shit like that. Too much headache. Yeah, I want to own some of these oil and gas names, but I don't really see a ton to do, honestly. None of them are perfectly set up, so, it's like I can't buy any of these, honestly. They just need more sideways, every single one of them, and I'd like to own them all. But if that's the sector that's going to go, that's the sector that's going to go. The beauty is they all clearly look identical, something like SM Doxy. So, it could just be a matter of days before they're all going. Yeah, TNK, STNG are both on watch as well. Yeah, I don't know when they'll be ready as well, but these things are incredibly strong. Like, this thing is a monster. There's no setup here. This can set up. I mean, this definitely can set up, but I wouldn't go out buying this today. but it's not. It's got nice strength, and it's another bio name. Just goes to show you the continued, strength in these continued strength in those names. Yeah, a lot of strength in these oil, gas, and biotech names. And problem is that these names just need more time. I even if they started taking off again today, I don't think I could buy them. Yeah, all these oil and gas names, they all look very similar. Like Dino's also very strong. This Marathon strong. Valero's strong. Appa's strong. Fang is strong. Chevron's strong. ExxonMobil was a basically right back to from the 200 right back to 52-week highs in a week. I mean, unbelievable strength. But I don't really see a safe way to get into any of these. So for now, for me, they're just passes, unfortunately. I hate to even have to say that, but it's just the reality. This Cigna might be pretty close too. Another week, this thing is just getting perfect. Slow. It's slow, but in this environment, I'll take slow until things that are fast set up perfectly. I think I'm more so concerned about things being a really nice setup in this environment because it's just a chop fest otherwise. LMT. I like NOC better. Yeah, there's no setup here. The 50 is downtrending and it's below price actions below the 200. You know, could this be bottoming? Absolutely. Do we know that for sure? Definitely not. I was looking at NOC on Friday. I was literally going to buy it right over this super tight day. I mean, it doesn't get any tighter than this kind of a day right here. Over the 10 and 20. Literally. I had it on watch first thing in the morning. I took it right off my screens, and an hour later I realized it took off. Jackass. But yeah, I wanted about 486, maybe 487. Somewhere in this little ballpark. 486 and a half to 487. $4 risk, and you guys know the rest. You'd be up $10 a share. It was perfect. Doesn't get any better. But yeah, if you're gonna be in one of those names in the sector, be in the leader, not the laggard. And LMT's is lagging. Could that change? Yeah, LMT can become a leader later down the road. But on Friday, NOC was better, much better. Yeah, this is still below the 200, below the 50, below the 20. I mean, all price actions taking place below the major moving averages versus NOC. NOC was above the 10, 20, 50, above the 200 clearly, clearly got super tight on Friday. I mean, you can't make up how tight that price action is. It's literally perfect. And then for Friday, yeah, you're buying it as it's breaking out over Thursday's high. All the moving averages, even on the smaller time frame, are nice and aligned for you. You got some confluence on the smaller time frame, and there you go. Nice and tight. It's perfect. Yeah, bless me. You don't want to be you always want to figure out who the real leader is in the space. That's who you really want to be with. The leader always, if you can be, right? And a setup matters. If the leader's taking off and LMT's just like a little bit below moving averages, but still has a fairly tight hourly setup and is in a space that's showing, nice relative strength versus other names. Okay, it's like Christian would say, it's not a 5-star setup, but maybe it's a 4 or it's a 3.5. So LMT could be okay, depending on how you're looking at it and how you're executing on it. But you know, NOC was clear and away the much stronger name. Friday sucked too. Friday was no fun. I even cut myself out of some names that just weren't working well. Weren't showing the life out of like I was an NBIX and it didn't even hit my stop, but I just trimmed some shit to sleep better over the weekend. Honestly, with how crappy things closed on Friday, like MBIX, I was extending my stop on this thing down to close below the 20, and a strong stock should not go out and then come right back. You know, it's mostly environment. I don't think it has anything to do too much with stock selection. I think it has more to do with the environment we're in. But when this thing started closing super weak, I was just like, all right, you know what, fuck this. The last thing I really really want is to have a bunch of open exposure and then have some catastrophe happen in the market overnight and you can't control your risk. So I just you know limited my downside, cut some things that just really were kind of coming back towards my average. DV was another one. I just was getting rid of shit that just wasn't acting right. MBIX, DV, PCTY. PCTY got me a few days ago. It's like, okay, you break out, you look really nice after 2 days, and then you start to come right back towards the average. Fuck that. No need to extend the stop, and it's not strong, clearly. And again, it had probably a lot to do with this environment that we're in. Wolf, I had to stop myself out of Wolf as well. But I actually waited for Wolf to take out the lows down here, 111. What looks really nice is this EWZ. This EWZ. Nobody's really talking about it yet, but they probably will be soon. China, it looks like possibly the best market right now, honestly. Nothing really looks like this EWZ, this Brazil ETF. Good luck, guys. Yeah, I don't really see much to do. It's nothing I really want to take in this market. Morning, Steve-O.
CRKN. Step. GNLM. UANY. CSCW. CSCW. Kit. MINM. Kit. EVA. EVA. IMUX. EVA. 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 SHFSW. BDPT.
Yeah, these oil names are acting awesome. That's too bad. Hopefully they'll just slow down for a little bit and consolidate. Otherwise, I don't really have a safe way to get into these.
ABEO. ABEO.
But something like DVN looks like it's going back to all-time highs. It looks like it's going back to 80s.
ABO.
So we'll see. Hopefully, they'll consolidate. But if not, that'd be too bad.
Echo.
Yeah, STNG over Friday's high.
ERS.
I don't necessarily love it just yet
Echo.
because it's not that tight, but it looks fine. It's a monster, honestly.
BDPT.
Yeah, they all do, man. Every single one of these oil gas names are strong. Yeah, either waiting for market conditions to align or making sure that the market that you're trading is strong. Interesting. Okay.
SHSW.
If it's in the oil and gas space, which SLNG kind of sounds like it is. Yeah, it's in the right space. Guys, you just need to look for tight setups. Everything oil and gas looks awesome. Literally. Everything oil and gas looks absolutely amazing. Or, not amazing as in they're perfect buy setups, like they're tight consolidations. They've pretty much just gone vertical for the last 10 days. All last week and then the week before. They've all come right off of their 200. I don't know the Indian market. I don't know which one that is. STNG. Hmm. Kind of thin right now. Kind of thin. Like, and even myself, like, I really only want to take, like, quarter positions, honestly. I don't want to do anything aggressive until this market proves to me otherwise. Hmm.
No FER.
No, I didn't stop out of many names this morning. I purposely stopped myself out of a bunch of shit on Friday. I got stopped out of like DV. I stopped myself out for a small green on NBIX. I stopped myself out on REGN. I stopped myself out on RYTM. Actually, I was stopped out of RYTM, so I did take a small loss there. But I took a bunch of either tiny green off the table, um, or I just cut things at small red or flat, or I just reduced exposure. Like my expectation was that as these names are breaking out, that they're gonna start to push away from my average quickly, and they didn't do that. They just kind of hung out. When the market was closing incredibly weak, and you can always reevaluate. It's not that difficult for me to get back into things. So yeah, that's a smart idea, Stevo. Start trading when the SPY's above its moving averages. That's such a great idea. Pretty sure there's a couple other smart guys thinking the same thing too. Yo. Do, 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 do. But yeah. Oh, and yes, I still own AEHR. Yeah. I sold a third. I don't know, just short of 17. It was like an 8% move, I believe it was. 8.5. So it's just above 17. Yeah, I sold a third and I'm still holding the rest. We'll see what it decides to do.
SMTI.
Just watching STNG see what it does over 43.20. Yeah, you're much better off waiting for the market to be in an uptrend. This is a downtrending market. But yes, for stopping out of things, I definitely did that.
XERS.
This ALB's acting well too. Lithium name. We'll see. Yep. ALB hit my alert as well. Lithium name.
Mark.
This deer was pretty nice too. This John Deere. A nice little downtrend break. It's just slow, but I had a nice downtrend break on the daily. You know, perked up, started to go sideways. We'll see. It's slow though too, but
CRTG.
TLT.
Echo.
Wow. Treasury's getting absolutely blown up.
CRKN. 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 CCF. MINN.
CCRN's acting well too, man. Hopefully this thing holds up.
CMET.
It's nice to at least be in the driver's seat on a handful of names. Otherwise, I'd have to be on vacation right about now. It's nice to still see a thing or two working around here.
Step. NBIB. 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 NBIB.
What was my inspiration for my trading style? When I first started day trading, it was Cam the Man. He's still a good friend of mine. Um, but as I kind of wanted to move away from day trading, um, I had already like found Christian when Kodak happened. So like I'm sure anybody who day traded remembered Kodak, and I remember hearing the story of Christian losing $1.5 million, and I was just like, damn, like ouch, that sucks for anybody. And he was just like, no, guys, don't worry about me. I'm still up several million on the month. And when I heard that, I was like, what the, I like couldn't believe my ears, and watching already, some guys day trade and make 30, 20, 50 grand in a day. I was like, all right, hold on. I'm over here trying to make 500 in a day, 1,000 in a day. And, so I just started to like tune into what Christian was doing, started watching his stream, but I wasn't a swing trader. Like I just didn't have the patience, didn't really have, didn't have the time behind the screens to have studied those setups. So, it looked good, sounded good. I wanted to do it, but, it's not until you finally start trying to swing. And then, I even found myself trying to do both. Like, you know, swing a really nice setup and then cut it quickly, or not quickly, but like cut it for gains, re-add the position lower. And then I realized like I was micromanaging, and
CFRF.
oftentimes that would still get me in trouble. And so once I like really decided that I wanted to try swinging and I wanted to do it for real, then I stopped day trading, and I kind of went all in on studying Minervini, Bill O'Neill, and then obviously Christian Kulamagi. Yeah, Kulamagi um, was like the real inspiration for doing it. Only because he put himself out there for free, and then nothing that he taught was incorrect. Like he would teach, understanding what sector's moving, understanding, the fundamentals or the catalyst as the fuel for why something's moving, understanding, market conditions. And, he really did a great job of going through all those things, those little nuances. And, everything he was teaching was making tons of sense. And that's kind of when I knew that I wanted to day trade or swing trade. And like I said, everything he said made tons of sense. And then I listened to and read Dan Sanger's newsletters, you know, Mark Minervini, Bill O'Neill, Roy Maddox, Pat Walker. I mean, there's a lot of these guys who are like Camslin traders who like, their methodology and how they trade, and when they take those trades, it resonated a ton with me. So, yeah, Chris is the absolute GOAT. Chris is the best I personally know. I mean, I don't know anybody or I haven't ever, seen anybody do it better. Yeah, Dan Sanger's got his website, and all his newsletters are on there. Those are great. Worth paying for, absolutely.
MINM.
Yeah, Dan Zanger's the man. Dan Zanger is one of the best as well. I mean, you might as well throw him up there too. I think more importantly is I just wanted to get as much material from the best guys that I could find, as possible. And Christian said in his swing school video that Dan Sanger helped him a lot. So the second I heard that, I looked up Dan Zanger's website and I paid for his membership. Same thing with Pradeep. Pradeep is who I learned the 3 to 5 day momentum burst from, which Christian was talking about a bunch, and he said Pradeep helped him a lot with that. So, man, AEHR is awesome. AEHR is awesome. But yeah, even as soon as he mentioned Pradeep, I did Pradeep's boot camp. You know, just because I had tons of respect for what Christian was doing. You know, I was like, all right, well, whatever helped him, kind of get to whatever level of knowledge he's at, I'm willing to study and, you know, sign up and read and whatever it was that he thought was helpful, I was also willing to do. Because why not? Yeah, Pradeep. Pradeep's awesome, man. I can't show nothing but love for that guy too. His basically his setups are, he uses a little bit of anticipation, but he understands a really nice setup. He also listens to the market really well, but he primarily focuses on those 3 to 5 day momentum bursts, unless of course, I mean, there are often times when he scalps opening range highs like a madman, right? Like not like in and out, in and out, in and out kind of thing, but um, like he'll see a really nice setup on the hourly and the daily, and then he'll buy the opening range high, and then he'll trade it for 30 minutes. He'll get a really nice breakout move. It would have been like, terrible example, right? Terrible example. But, he would have taken something like Sava, you know, opening range high a few days ago, and this is all he would have done. He would have day traded it like as it broke previous day's high, as an opening range high, and he would have held it for 30, 45 minutes. That's it. And he would have been out at this very fucking top. That's it. And he would have caught his $3-4 move, and he would have moved on. Or, if he realizes and recognizes that he's in a really healthy market, then he'll catch that full 3 to 5 day momentum burst. Right? But not very often did I hear him talking about position trading, But he's done really well in his career, so that's all you really need. Just opening range highs. And if you're willing to be disciplined and that setup like the back of your hand, you can scalp the exact same trades that I get myself into. You can just scalp it, Like, you didn't have to watch AMLX come back down and underneath your average. Like, that would have been unnecessary. What Pradeep would have done was, he would have seen, it would have hit his alert when it broke out over the previous day's high or over his range. He would have bought, and then he would have been out an hour later. That's it. No headache. Opening range highs, that's it. But I personally like the way AMLX is acting, so I was okay extending the stop, and I've just been slowly inching it up anyway. IRDM's got me bright green too. This thing's been pretty nice. Yeah, different styles of trading. You have to find out what makes you comfortable. A lot of people don't like seeing gains go back. I don't mind seeing gains go back because they're not my gains until I've sold. And that's the one way I look at it. And then, I also make sure that I'm sized in properly. So, even if I'm staring at gains, on day one, they're not portfolio changing. Like they didn't change like the fortunes of my life. If I'm up like day one on a position and it's like 5 or 10 grand, my portfolio doesn't look different to me. So, we just have to let time be the thing that pays us versus position sizing. So oftentimes, especially in an environment like this, I'm taking quarter position sizes. So even if they do work out well, I'm not even up it's such meaningless size, man. You have to be patient and let time pay you. I'm very, very, very selective when I take big size. Like, I did it a few month and a half or so ago on Oxy. I did it a few days ago on LLY. And I got lucky. So, but yeah, AMLX guys, tiny, tiny size. I think I was up maybe $4,000 in here. $4,000. My portfolio literally hasn't changed at all. I'd have to see it go to 40 for me to, feel any kind of tingle. And that's just a matter of position sizing, right? I want to catch a big move, but the only way to catch a big move is to put on proper size. And then you get paid. If it goes to 40, then I'll make 50, 60 grand or more, right? And that's all right, great, finally, some nice money. But if I'm looking at my account and I'm like, oh, I'm up $3,000, $4,000, it's not doing anything to me. So, and that's a matter of position sizing. I don't want to feel anything, in the first hour. The stock's barely fucking moved. You shouldn't be feeling like I got to take this money off the table within the first hour. That just means you're oversized. You know, literally just means you're oversized, or you don't understand the position that you've gotten yourself in, and you're not willing to hold for the bigger move, even though you did oversize. You know, like, there Yuli's in this room, and I once showed her my position on Oxy. And it's like, man, you were up like $5-6 in that very first day. You didn't sell any, and I was like, no, I didn't sell not a damn thing. Because I oversized, but I still understood that this was a really clean and nice breakout, and I'm not here to micromanage the trade. I'm here to let the thing work. If I give back money, it was money that was never mine, but I sized in accordingly. Something that wouldn't affect my mentality. And that's more important. I'm not here to get shaken out after every little shit, every little penny. Yeah, 819 was the breakout. Yeah, on Oxy, 819. I had like just under a 66 average on 17,500 shares. And I was up a bunch on day one. Then I watched it gap down. Believe me, that was so uncomfortable. I was like, man, you know. But then I even, you coulda, shoulda, woulda, all you want. And then I still held. And then the very next day it ripped higher. So yeah, sure, it sucked watching it come back $4 or $5. But I was still green on the trade. And again, I had a bigger picture idea for the thing. And it ended up working. And once I got to day 3, and day 4 and day 5, we were starting to trim, and I did a really good job selling, near 75s. EMPH was really nice for me too. EMPH was awesome. So I actually had a 212. I owned it right in. I believe it was one of these days. I kind of anticipated. Yeah, I was right in here. I was a 213.
AGTC.
I bought it right in here. And then I just showed patience, never stopped me out, and then earnings happened, and then I bought more at 240. Yeah, EMPH was awesome for me too. And then I also traded it like a stud right in here. I bought as it took out 287. But yeah, I mean, we're not always going to be right. It's about knowing when to hit it hard and kind of knowing when to back off. Yeah, EMPH is textbook EP. Oh boy, Sark, huh? Bastard. I bought this one the other day and it stopped me out. That was too bad. I bought this thing like at 62.5 bucks, somewhere in here. Right in here in this first hourly candle. And then it stopped me out, of course, and then of course it's ripping higher. Gotta love how that works. Every time. Never fails. But yeah, EMPH was a textbook EP, and then recently Suave was a textbook EP. It didn't get any better than this one either. Suave was perfect. Where do you buy it? Well, first hourly candle to make a high. Right there. Stop right there. That's it. As soon as it breaks over this day's high. This after hours high. That was it. And then look at it. It was fucking perfect. Driver's seat right away. Strong stock pushes out, stays out. 3 to 5 day momentum burst. Sell a little piece right there in the 280s, high 280s, and then stopped out down here. About the same spot. But you got a nice $40 gain. Yeah, Suave. That's fucking perfect. The hell happened here? Yeah, This AMLX is acting well.
CCNC.
I don't really see shit to do. Honestly, I'm not trying to buy any of these oil and gas names. I'm just kind of waiting on CCR and AMLX to see if they'll just hold up for me, which it looks like they may. BSM still going well. Looks like Lily, who knows, might stop me out at some point today, maybe. It's too bad. This was a pretty big position too, but it'll still be nice and green. AHR. I guess that's why we sell some into strength, which I did. So I don't really care about the rest. We'll see how this one closes too. This one's got a little room some room to work. And then I tried a tiny piece of ALB. We'll see if that ends up sticking. But I'm gonna use the close of the 50. Would have to close below the 50. So I size down. Quarter size. Quarter size. Yeah, these markets suck. These markets suck. Like I said, quarter size on shit for me. I don't need to get aggressive. I still have a plenty big position in a few names. You know, and I still got over 8 names open. I mean, I don't really need it way more exposure than what I've already got. So, you know, it's like I've been trying to get aggressive and you know, I've been basically flat, slightly green. You know, because of LLY recently, and you know, CCRN was a really nice one. BSM was a really nice one. Lily was a really nice one. But yeah, I've been just, you know, chopping around. No real damage, no real progress, which is good. This market's supposed to wear you out, you know, but I'm here trying to stay in tune with the market so when it finally does turn up, you know, I'll be in all the right names and in the right sector, and you know, I'll be in with proper averages looking to add on to my positions. You know, instead of initiate a bunch of new ones, you know, I'll be prepared. But sizing down in this market is huge. Yeah, dude, I had a family over from Florida. So we did the architecture boat tour in Chicago. It was really nice. It was really nice. About the EPEEP setups, have you had ones that did the opposite as soon as you bought? Yeah, EP setups have failed. EP setups have failed. Um, this one didn't really work. You could have bought Wolf. It pushed out, so you got your, you know, on day 5, but you ended up coming back. Let me think, man. I'm like trying to think. Okay, I got one actually, and I didn't play it because I was already in. But had you bought CSIQ on the EP, you'd have gotten you. It wouldn't have worked. right? So it posted earnings. It broke through the range on big volume. Um, so you would have been buying, 42s, 43s, whatever. And then the very next day, stopped out. So yeah, it happens. But your loss would have been tiny, and then you would have been waiting for it to set back up and tighten up, and it never gave you that. So it did go sideways here, and maybe you did buy it for another breakout over the previous day's high, or the range up at 47. But it never worked, and you got stopped out again, and it never set up. So yeah, it happens. It happens. But I was already in down here, right there. 36.66 was my first buy on CSIQ. A little bit early, but down here. I kind of noticed it on the smaller time frame as it was starting to turn back up. So 36.66 before it actually ever broke out. Anticipated it a little bit, but it worked out well because I was looking at smaller time frame. But yeah, I never ever bought the EP, and it never worked, and that happens. I don't. EPs have to be coming out of really nice tight setups. When you look at EMPH and you go back and study that and stick some moving averages on it, you're going to be absolutely wowed at how nice and tight all these moving averages are. Nice and clean, nice and tight. This chart's just building higher lows, leading up into earnings. I mean, it's fucking perfect. I mean, it's literally fucking perfect. Clearly breaks out of the range when this news happens. You look at the earnings, big surprise beat. They don't fail as often as you'd think. As long as it's in the right sector, or the market's in a nice, decent, halfway decent uptrend, or just not getting absolutely pulverized that day. These EPs work. You look back at EMPH, Suave, Wolf, LNTH at the beginning of the year. LNTH was fucking perfect too. Look at how nice and tight and perfect those moving averages are going up to this day. It was nice. 10 on top of the 20, on top of the 50, on top of everything was nice. One on top of the other. I'd like to maybe figure out a way to figure that out. There's if they have a really nice tight 6 monthly range leading up to that, but even something like Suave, going into those earnings, what was Suave doing? Suave was in this fucking frozen rope uptrend right above the 20. 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, every single one of them are in an uptrend. And then you wonder what the news is going to be when earnings come? Of course. I've said this before, right? News tends to favor the trend. So when the trend is already up, those earnings hitting, it's not really so much of a surprise. It's a surprise earnings beat maybe, but it's not a surprise. It depends. A big knife can happen, Tyson, and it could just be a pullback to a major moving average. I really want to respect my rules, especially if I have a good entry. I already know what my loss is going to be before I get in, and I'm good with that. I'm usually good with that number of money I'm going to lose before I enter. So, once I peel some, you know, I'm not really looking to leave just because it's pulling back. I already sold some AEHR, right? I already sold some AEHR, on Friday. So as long as this thing doesn't stop me out on the rest, I'm good. That's all that matters. Yeah, SMCI on are the two semiconductor names that caught my attention. Yeah, SMCI on needs a little bit of work, man. But SMCI problem with these is this whole sector sucks ass. Even Wolf's kind of coming down. I'd like to see a little bit more group participation. I don't want to buy one name that's like in a like the weakest sector just because it looks good. I'd rather buy a couple half-assed of these oil and gas names if that sector is going to be absolutely rocking. My scans are fucking littered with them. APA, SWN, PBF, LPI, AMR, SM, um, and a couple bio names, and then Wing is the last one. So look, I think about that, and I'm just like, okay, well, my scan just showed me like 10 names, and seven of them are energy names. That's where I want to be. TSM sucks ass. This sucks ass. Even if this does have really good earnings, it's just going to be gapping up into declining moving averages, which more than likely it just gets sold off because every single one of these people from here. So if this thing gaps up because of earnings, now everybody from in this giant circle wants to get the fuck out because they're all red. I don't want that. I want to deal with stocks that have like no overhead, nothing but happy investors just because, they're not even looking at red, and its stock just keeps on going and going and going. Like this CEIX. The CEIX has been a monster. There's been nothing but happy investors in this thing all year long. They might never want to sell this. If I owned it, I wouldn't want to sell it. Not if I caught an awesome entry down here. If you were prepared for this thing, you caught this downtrend break and you got in early and you trimmed some and then, you just managed your position and then you're using like the 50. You're never leaving. You see this thing respect the 50 now a handful of times. Now all of a sudden you're widening your stop to the 100. Yeah, I mean, you're never fucking leaving. Yeah, you got stopped out maybe later. But, yeah, who knows? This thing has just been really strong for a long time. Had some ugly periods of pullback, like all stocks do, but it's nothing but happy investors in this thing. You want to figure out how to get in stocks like that. Yeah, stocks with a bunch of overhead, that have just been in a downtrend, I like to avoid, until they've based out, until they've created a fresh new base. Kind of like this Netflix, created a base down here and then created a new base up here. But, Netflix isn't even one I could buy until the market's way better.
IINX. 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 BRDS. BRDS. BRDS, BRDS.
Yeah, HII. HII strong. Yep, it is. Yeah, I think one of the things that most of us are probably already good at is understanding that if a chart is strong or not. The real question is, how is the market? How do I find a safe entry? How much of something do I size in? How much of something do I buy? Those questions, are even a little bit more. So even on something like this HLL, like you just brought up, or HII, sorry, you know, what level do you want to enter in on? You know, what's your breakout spot? How much of something do you want to own? What's the trend of the overall market? What sector is the stock that you're trying to buy? Begin to answer those questions for yourself, before you enter. And, you'll realize, like, okay, this isn't so random. This sector's been hot. It's an oil and gas name, and oil and gas has been all over my scans. Or it's a tech name, and tech names have been booming. Or maybe it's a cybersecurity name, and those have been going. Or hey, it's an EV name and Tesla's been rocking, so Lucid looks good. So okay, like you got to answer those things for yourself. But really, what sector's moving? How do I enter safely, and what's the direction of the overall market? You know, you start to answer those three things for yourself, and you'll make less mistakes. You'll get less aggressive because you'll just realize, like, hey, you know what? These things just aren't perfect yet because I can't limit my risk to get in, you know? And I just don't want to take small loss after small loss after small loss after small loss. Like, that shit's annoying too. I don't mind taking them, but it's really annoying. So, just keeping your frequency of trades down to like a, respectable level. You're not just like taking a shitload of trades. You're just like being patient and letting the trades kind of come to you. Much easier. They'll find you.
TMVR, TMVR, TMVR. ALRN.
But yeah, I don't really see much to do. Oxy looks great on the monthly. Yes, it does. These all could use these pullbacks though. This is super healthy. Not to mention the market looks like shit, so this is great. Like these names are probably going to be some of the best setups when this market's done tanking. Oxy and DVN will have a bunch of my attention, particularly this DVN. It's just acting stronger. And I guess like Sava on AEHR, I should have sold a little bit more. I sold a third. I should have sold a half. Right? And this market's just going to keep proving to me what I should be doing instead of what I want to be doing. You know, I want to be holding more for bigger moves for longer. But this market's not letting that happen. And it's watching gains go back in Sava or AEHR. And it's just reminding me hey, when you get the opportunity to sell more, right? You know, don't sell when you want, sell when you can. That's what this market's been telling me. So now I know until the market proves to me and until I can look back at a position and say, damn, I knew I shouldn't have sold that much. When that happens to me a handful of times, then I'll start being even more patient. But until then, this market's telling me, hey, you get a nice 1 day or a 2 day move, you know, you're going to have to turn into a Pradeep for a minute, which is just, you know, be more aggressive to sell. Be more aggressive to sell. You know, sell half instead of that third or that 10%, you know, sell more. Instead of watching these gains come back right to my average, you know, there's no sense in that. Just sell more. But guys, I don't see shit for me to do as much as I want to stay here and trade or watch charts. There's a market's got some market's got some work to do. You know, this doesn't look good. Anybody who thinks this shit looks good or we're close to bottom, you know, maybe or maybe not. You know, 340s will be interesting, 320s will be interesting, and 300s. If this thing goes below 300s, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Our sustained uptrend would be a whole lot nicer, multi-month at least. don't see much else to do here, guys. I'm probably done for the day. Manage what you own. Don't get crazy out there, and go enjoy a nice day outside. Honestly. Yeah. Yep. Hopefully these set up even better. This crappy market should hopefully help set these things up even better if they're meant to go. So that would be nice. But yeah, guys, I don't see shit to do. So until tomorrow, please don't do nothing crazy out here. Do not get aggressive. There's just literally no need. It's really no need at all. Plenty of opportunities to make money in the upcoming weeks. This TLT's got to stop going down. If it doesn't stop going down, something's truly broken in the market. I don't know what it is. And our dollar's rallying. Not what we want to see. Not what we want to see. Yeah, it'd be nice to see gold and silver going up too. But all right, guys, till tomorrow. Like I said, don't do nothing crazy, and we'll see you guys in the morning.